G'day playmates, and welcome to another Harmer vid. And I am covering the Witcher Wild Hunt Gwent legendary card game. So firstly, the rulebook. Gwent is a dueling card game that pits two armies against each other on the field of battle. It first appeared as a mini-game in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and is now presented in this special package to celebrate its 10th anniversary. So for the rhythm of play, players take turns placing one card on the battlefield at a time until both players decide to pass. This ends the round. At the end of each round, players calculate the total strength of all unit and hero cards on their respective sides of the battlefield. The player with the highest total strength wins the round. The losing player then removes a gem. When a player runs out of gems, they lose the game and their opponent wins the game. So here we can see a board layout. You get a paper board to put your cards on. Different types of cards. There are leader cards, which all have a special ability. The unit cards, obviously you can see, first of all, they have a strength, then they have a range, and then they could have 0, 1 or 2 or even more abilities, and then sometimes a special ability which is in very small type at the bottom of the card. There are also hero cards, which are the only cards not affected by any special abilities, like special cards, unit cards, or leader cards abilities. So heroes can never have their strength reduced or added to. They can never be involuntarily removed. Next, we've got special cards, and some of these stay on the board. Some get played and discarded. Some go into this slot, which is a weather card slot. Also, it's possible to have a small side deck, and these are cards that don't start in your deck, but will become available during the game. And we've got gem counters. They're cardboard in the game, but I pimped my game out, so I've got some quite large ones here. So at the start of the game, you're going to choose an option. Either you can play a card from your hand, or use an active leader's ability, which generally is a one-off, or pass. And here we've got all the iconography. We've got the 5 different factions, and there are over 80 cards in each faction. We've got the monsters, Nilfgaard, Northern Realms, Scoia'tael, and Skellige. And they've each got a general build ability. And then the rest is just an appendix. And I've also got some errata and some highlighting for bits and pieces, as I do. Next is the game modes book, and this game can be played solitaire, 2-player, 3 or more players, but generally in the original Witcher 3 computer game, it was essentially a 2-player game. Okay. I've used the advanced deck building rules. A deck must be composed of 1 leader only, 22 unit cards minimum. Obviously, the more cards you've got in your deck, the harder it is to find specific cards, as per usual with deck building. 5 special cards maximum, 2 spy cards maximum, 2 medic cards maximum, and the combined strength of all units in a deck can't exceed 130. So here I've got the playmat laid out, and over this side we got a scoring track, we got a space for our gems, and then we've got spaces for certain cards. This is a space for your deck. This is a space for your discards. These cards, these spaces are for leader, abilities cards, or side deck cards. And then we've got the different ranges. Far range, it's got the catapult icon. Medium range, which has got the crossbow icon. And melee range, and then a divider for each player. So this is basically going to be a playthrough with a slight tutorial edge. We're going to get the Northern Realms. Up against the Nilfgaard. We've got our gems, coin toss, scoring markers. Okay, we're all set up here. I've got my draw deck for my discards, scoring tokens, 2 gems, and here I've got my Nilfgaard ability card and icon reader. I've got my side deck, which is not allowed to be put into my main deck. That could possibly come into play via cards from my deck. And I've got my leader card, and I've got my scoring markers. And the same for the other side. The Northern Realms ability card, the leader, side deck, space for weather cards, card iconography, help, draw deck, discards. So Nilfgaard, going to do a deck shuffle. And draws 10 cards. At the start of the game, you can mulligan up to 2 cards. Generally, obviously, these cards could either be low value cards or cards that you really need to be in your deck rather than your hand. Let's have a quick look. Okay, without going too much into it, this is actually quite a decent hand draw. So I'm not going to mulligan anything out of this particular hand. Northern Realms, shuffle. And draw 10 cards. And this also is a pretty good hand. However, this card sticks out. And it's a small value card, and its ability is not much good to me at this moment in time. So I'm going to mulligan that and take a card into my hand. Yep, that's an improvement, and I'm going to stay at that with just mulliganing 1 card. Anytime that you pull cards out of your deck, shuffle and put them back. Okay, next we're going to see who's going to go first. Essentially, gold side, white side. So Northern Realms is going to call the gold side. Nilfgaard will call the white side. Let's toss this and see who's going to go first. And Northern Realms will be going first. Okay, I think what I'd like to do first is play my hero, Avalach. He's got the spy ability, and that gets played into the opponent's melee row here. Spy ability allows me to take 2 cards from the top of my deck into my hand. So I'm going to play that into my opponent's row. And I'm going to draw 2 cards into my hand. I think my first play for Nilfgaard will be this. Olgierd von Everek. Combat value 6. He's got the agility ability, which means he can deploy either to the crossbow row or the melee row, and he's got the ability of morale boost. He can add 1 strength to all units on the same row as himself. Obviously this doesn't apply to heroes, but all of the units. And we score 6 points for the battle ahead. Okay, well, I think Northern Realms needs to put some points on the board also, so I'm going to select Catapult. 8 points goes in the Catapult row, and it's got the Type Bond ability, which any other card named Catapult will essentially at least double the value of both cards, or triple if there are 3 cards. And we score 8 points for that. Okay, why don't I play my 7-point hero? Well, the reason's simple, because this particular ability allows me to take a card from my discard pile and put it into play. And I haven't got any there at the moment. That's going to be no good, but I am going to play Gwent O'Dim, Darkness, and it goes into the crossbow row. It's worth 4 points, but it's got the muster ability. So I find all Gwent O'Dim Darkness cards in both my deck and hand and play them instantly. There is actually a router on this card. It says your deck or hand, but you actually search both deck and hand. So I haven't got any in my hand. Search the deck. There's one. There's another. There is another one here. But unfortunately, this is a standard. This is actually the character Gwent O'Dim, and I'd need to get him out into play first, because there is a subtle difference between these 2 cards. You can see that one is Gwent O'Dim, the other one is Gwent O'Dim Darkness, so it does actually make a slight difference. Okay, these are going here. My score is now 18. Okay, I think it's time for me to play my Taylor. It's only worth 1. It goes into the catapult range, but he's a spy, so my opponent is going to get that card. It will score him 1, but I'll be drawing 2 cards from my deck. So he's going to go into the catapult row. And score an extra point. I'm going to draw 2 cards into my hand. Well, that is a pity. I'd really have liked to use that card. Yeah, I think I made a bit of a mistake there. I should have played this card first. Anyway, okay, I think I'm going to pass at 19 because I've got a couple of medic cards here that will allow me to take a couple of these and put them in play, particularly this one. And before I pass, I'm just going to check my combat values. So I've got 4, 8, 12, and 6 is 20. Nothing there. 1 there. 21. However, these cards, because of this morale boost ability, is going to add +1 to these other cards. So we've got 12 and 6 is 18, +1 is 19, 20, 21, 22. And we're going to pass. So Northern Realms has got 8 points. We've got to beat 22 to win the round. We do have quite a few cards. We may just be able to do it. And we've got our ability that we draw an extra card on winning the round. So I think it'd be worth winning the round here. So I'm going to play Gaunt to Odim. And I got to find all Gaunt to Odim darkness cards in my deck and hand. Unfortunately, they're all in my hand. So now we've got a score of 4, 8, 12, 14, 22, 22. But we're still not going to pass because we're going to play our friend the cow. It's worth nothing, but it's got the summon ability, which will allow, at the end of the round, me to put this card from my side deck into play. And I think I'm fairly happy at this stage to draw the game because we're both going to lose a gem. So 22 for the Nilfgaard, 22 for Northern Realms. We both will lose a gem. Okay, so it's clean up now. These are going to go into my discard pile. and so is this, but before I do, I'm going to replace that with the Bovine Defense Force. And that's going to start me off with 8 points. So we'll clear the board. And I'm going to take 8 points to start the next round. And same here for cleanup. It's also worth noting that my opponent's cards that he played on my side of the board will also go into my discard pile. So neither player won a round. It was a drawn round. So we're going to toss the coin again to see who's going to go first. Nilfgaard will take white. Let's flip the coin. And Northern Realms is going to start off round 2. Okay, well, I'm immediately looking at Yennefer of Vengerberg because she's got the medic ability. So I'm just going to have a look in my discard, see whether she's worth playing. And I think, yes, she is worth playing because it's going to allow me to put this card into play. So I got 7 and 8 points, making 15. And then the medic ability allows me to put this card into play. For another 8, making 23. So 23 points for my first card play is not a bad score at all. Okay, these units, although they're only small, have got the tight bond ability, and that's a pretty powerful combination. So I'm going to start playing these to kick off with. And scores me 3 points. And we're going to play Grimfried Reaver's Dragon Hunter. He's got the tight bond ability also. That'll score me an extra 5 points, bringing me up to 28. Okay, Nilfgaard continues playing the Emperor Brigade Guard. And because of the tight bond, these two cards have got a multiplier of 2 because there's 2 of them. So that's worth 6. That's worth 6. $12 points all up. 10, 12. Yep, we'll continue playing tight bond here. So that card is worth 10 now. That card is worth 10, 20, 28, 36, 43. Okay, 43 to 12. We're going to continue to play our tight bond cards. There's another one. So now, instead of being worth 6, these are now 3 times 3. They're worth 9. 9, 27, 43 plays 27. And I've only got 3 cards left. I can't play this card because what this does is it checks the whole battlefield, and the non-hero card with the highest value gets discarded, which unfortunately is my card, this one here. So this particular card is totally useless. Now the question is this going to go for another round or not? Hard to say. But I've got a very dangerous card here, so I'm going to play it. And it's the Villain Threatenmirth. Worth 7, goes into the melee row. However, it's got a Scorch ability. And what that Scorch ability does is, well, first of all, let's put it in to its proper row. We're going to get an extra 7 points. We've now got 50 points on the board. So what this does is it checks the corresponding row on the opponent's side, and it removes all, either the highest or a number of highest cards in that row from the row, and goes into the discard pile. So unfortunately, all these threes, because they're the highest card in the opponent's row, and there's 3 of them, are all going to get discarded. So now the Nilfgaard player has got no score there. And that's a pretty devastating move. And I think that that's going to be the one that's obviously going to win us the battle, because we're 50 up. And the Nilfgaard player's got 0 at the moment. Let's see what he's going to do. Well, all is not lost, because we're going to play our hero medic. I'm going to search. We can't put that into play because it's a hero. We can't take a hero. But we will take Olgeir von Everek, and we've now got 13. However, he's got the morale boost, so he's going to add +1 to any other non-hero cards that I put in this row, and we score 13. Okay, we're going to go all out here to try and win this round. So the only playable card we've got is this. I'm going to play it into this row, and it's going to double the value of these 2 cards. Not the hero, because the heroes are not subject to those abilities. And that's going to give us an extra 10. And moves us to 60 points. Okay, we're going to play a Menokorhorn. Worth an extra 10 points. Brings us up to 23. But it has got the medic ability. Unfortunately, that's about the best that we can do. So an extra 4 points brings us up to 27. The Northern Realms player with an unplayable card is now going to take the leader ability, and he doubles the strength of all catapult units, unless a commander's horn is also present in that row. It's not the commander's horn is present in the crossbow row. So that ability is used. And my 8 is now worth another 8. Which brings us up to 68. I think that's pretty unbeatable. Okay, we're going to play Tibor Egerbrat, worth 10 points. Brings us up to 37. And Northern Realms, with a useless card, has got no choice but to pass. So all the card players are now going to be for the NILF card. We're going to play that. For 3 points. And I'm just going to check my values here. I have got 7, 17, 27. But because of that, that's worth 1 extra. So that's 28, 38, 41. But still a long way off 60, but we've still got a few tricks. So we've got the Commander's Horn. We're going to play it into this row. And what it's going to do is it's going to double the value of these 2 cards here, which are worth 11. So I'm going to take an extra 11. And brings me up to 52. And I've got my leader ability here, and this allows me to draw a card from your opponent's discard pile, and it cannot be a hero. So it could be anything but a hero. I think this might be a game winner. Okay, let's put him back. Okay, so these are my opponent's discarded cards. But unfortunately, nothing's going to help me there. I'm just going to take that one. I'm going to play that there for an extra 4 points. And at the end of the game, Nilfgaard scores 56. Northern Realms scores 68. So there was a bit of a difference in it there. So the loser loses a gem, and the winner has won the game in 2 rounds. Okay, I hope you found that useful. It's a really nice game. I like it, and would recommend for people who like card games. It's reasonably simple. There's not a huge amount of rules. The cards are self-explanatory. It looks great. It plays great. Why would you not buy it? And currently it's round about $70 Australian. Okay, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.